Hello to all our magic friends and customers. It's Joe Stevens here with my lovely wife Martha, my magic assistant for how many years have we been married?
What did we get married
Oh, for magic, of course.
Yeah. 58.
58 years. And today we're going to celebrate a good friend of ours who's no longer with us, Karrell Fox. And many of you out there who are viewing this know or knew Karrell Fox, and some of you didn't. Why, hopefully we'll give you some exciting information about this really true magi. Now, first, some biography. Karrell was born January 30th, 1928, and he died March 12th, 1998. He was a 20th century magician. When he was a child, his parents operated a small restaurant in Raineyville, West Virginia. A customer bolted without paying his bill, but he left behind a few magic tricks. And this is what started Karrell Fox on his magic career. He appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show in 1946. He was 18 years old. Karrell Fox and Roy Kissel were very dear friends, but contrary to popular belief, Karrell did not have any part of Roy Kissel's Fox and Fun magic shop, which was located in Detroit, Michigan. Karrell worked that magic shop when he was a young gentleman growing up. He was one of the first trade show magicians and billed himself the King of Corn. He created the magic world of Ford for the Ford Motor Company, and for many years this was a great experience for him, and he earned quite a bit of money being a trade show magician. He had his own TV show performing as Milky the Clown. He was a regular performer at Abbott's Magic Convention in Colon, Michigan. And traditionally he was an MC. He was a great MC. He could impromptu anything. He had such a wide memory of magical effects. So that plus 25 years with the Abbotts get-together, why he was always one of the MCs. Now, unfortunately, when he passed away, he was at the Desert Magic Seminar in 1998. And the convention was over that night, and the next morning I left early for Chicago. I went to another trade show. I left Las Vegas. And a lady came up to me at the booth and said, "Gee, I'm sorry to hear that Karrell Fox passed away." It completely blew me away. I just left him that night before. He roomed with Obie O'Brien at the hotel. And yes, he passed away. That morning, Obie got up and said, "I'm going down to have breakfast." He came back and Karrell was gone. So it was a shock to the magic world. So Karrell was so loved by so many people, very unselfish.
You know, I'll never forget that day, because Karrell, the night before, was teaching magic to Dina Murray and somebody else. And he was so engrossed in what he was doing that he looked up and he goes, "Oh, hi." But when he was involved with magicians, he was involved. Probably the #1 guy in magic. He would share with any little kid, or didn't care who you were. He was just a sweetheart of a kid and really believed in the brotherhood of magicians. And that was sad that he had to go that time. He really wasn't well at the convention, but he put on a heck of a front. And he wanted to be in that magic.
That's right.
He's the only magician that I visited his grave, because he asked me to. He was going to be buried in Colon, Michigan, which is the end of the world. I mean, it's a really small place, but it is a magic world. And so I did go to that place to see Karrell Fox. He was the first magician that we put on our tape.
That's right.
He was absolutely the best teach-in for kids that there was. And like you said, Joe, he could get up in front of anybody and talk. And he wrote a poem.
And we're going to show that poem at the end of this little interview. Yes, we are. That's going to close with that.
That's cool.
But Martha, what you said was right. He loved magicians. He dedicated his life to it. He was always unselfish. And as Harry Blackstone said, but one thing first before I tell you what Harry Blackstone Sr. said, Karrell could take the toughest sleight, escanio spread, second dealing, bottom dealing, all those tough sleights, and he could make them simple. Because if you could watch him do it, you'd say, "Why did I bust my knuckles trying to learn all those tough sleights?" But he knew how to improvise and get the same effect in a much simpler way. And Harry Blackstone Jr. said, it was a quote from him, "The strongest possible effects achieved with the simplest possible methods have always been the Fox formula." and that was very, very true. And I wish I had that ability to take the tough slides in the magic world and be able to simplify them. So that was some of the things, but how he passed away, I'll never forget that, because it was a shell shock for me. He always gave me honest counsel. If I had some confusion about an effect or about this person, this customer, or a magic act, Karrell was always there for me. So I'm always indebted to him.
You know, Joe, I remember one time driving down, we had rented a limo to take everybody, and Karrell says, "Joe, what more could I do for you?"
Yeah.
He was that kind of a person. He didn't ever have his hands out either. He just wanted to know, what can I do to make this convention better? And he did make it better.
Yeah, he's so unselfish.
Yeah.
Many would call him the all-around magician because he was an author, a performer. He did close-up, stand-up, stage, illusions. He was a master of ceremony, and he was a teacher. He also authored 10 magic books. I don't know very many magicians who can credit 10 magic books, and these are just 3 of them here. Much Ado About Something and Goodies by Karrell Fox. His first one was Confidentially Yours by Karrell. A lot of gags and comedy in this. That was his first book. But 10 books he came out with. You can tell by the tabs in this book here that the pages that I have circled or tabbed that are important effects that I even felt like I could do, and because it's simple, good Karrell Fox entertainment. So, and also Karrell did a DVD for us in the Greater Magic Library. He was our first performer to start the Greater Magic Library series. And this is Karrell's DVD. And on it are 10 special effects. I don't want to make this a commercial, but I do want to brag about how wide he was with ability. And we're so proud that he led the 60 titles that we ended up finalizing with the Greater Magic Library.
Wonderful for children. Wonderful for learning. Because it was stuff you could do right on the table. Not go to the magic shops and buy the props. You could just buy whatever there was in the room. He could make a show out of it.
Yeah, simple stuff, but great entertainment.
Great guy.
Martha and I miss him dearly, and we wish that we could still see him, but that's the way life is.
We could go to Cola, Michigan. I'm not going.
Martha and I went to Abbott's Magic Convention, where they have a cemetery there in Cola, Michigan, and how many people are buried there?
Oh,
Harry Blackstone Jr., Karrell Fox, many other illustrious
Joe, you're
magicians.
not going there, are you?
Well, if the fishing is good, I might want to go there. But thank you for hearing about Karrell Fox, and now you're going to see a couple of things that Karrell left on his video. The heavenly, he called it the heavenly poem, and also the call from home. You're going to love both of these. But
he's a sentimentalist,
yeah,
too.
Sentimentalist. So that will be on this DVD also, and we're going to do some clips right after we're through talking. Are you through talking?
I'm through talking.
Am I through talking?
You're through talking.
I'm through talking. Thank you very much.
It's called the Heavenly Magic Show. If they were to have a magic show in heaven, what a wonderful show it would be. Just think of the cast they could choose from the Men of Mystery. Herman Hansen would be the producer, for he always put on a good show. And to help, Stu Robeson and Vic Torsberg. Those were 2 guys in the know. For ideas, they'd call on Jim Grant, and he and Fetch would give him a hand. These 2 guys were fountains of knowledge, and all the concepts they came up with were grand. Charlie Carrier would be the opener. He would juggle his bottles and trays. Then Dave Coleman, Bill Baird, and Doc Tarbells, who taught us magic in so many ways. Max Holden would do his shadows, and Johnny George Main would add to the fun, and then the incomparable Cardini, who was always number 1. Russell Swan would do the snake basket. The crowd would roar with delight. Then Dunninger and Anneman with a double mental act. Wouldn't that be a sight? George Jason would tell some stories. At this he had no peer. Then Tommy Windsor would do his pitch act, which was a winner year after year. During intermission, Percy Abbott would sell the candy. Boy, was that funny. And Howard Strickler would be there too to help collect the money. Clark Crandall would open the second half with cards and a very warm plate. Oh, how I miss his columns. Most things he wrote were great. Bill Larson Sr. would be in the front row, and what a review he would write. And then Himber would roll out his tables, and that would take most of the night. Russ Walsh would do his golf act. produce a bunch of canes, and then the stage would be showered with cards by our old friend Ronald Haynes. Can you imagine the closing act with all the illusionists there? Miracle after miracle would surely fill the air. Blackstone would do the bulb in the cage, and it would be the greatest. Then Calenag and Les Levant performing all their latest. Houdini would do the water cell, Keller would do the levee, and then Thurston with the sawing. Boy, was that heavy. Danny would do his lazy magician, and applause would fill the hall, and then our beloved Okito would perform his floating ball. Jack Gwynn would produce his stack of bowls. He sure made it look simple, and of course his lovely Anne would help as he did the swords and the temple. As for bits between the acts, I've saved someone special for that, for this guy could make anyone laugh at just the drop of a hat. He'll probably do the pantomime of a magician who's not quite sure, and the crowd will surely love him. In fact, they'll yell for more. You've probably guessed who it is by now. If not, you soon will learn that the one who's getting all the laughs is my wondrous pal, Duke Stern. Well, it's been fun thinking about it, and it's all pretend, I know, but if they really had a magic show in heaven, it would be quite a show. To see them all together would be a glorious sight, and I think they have all enjoyed being remembered here tonight. So if by chance they're watching these Men of Mystery, I hope they'll grant a small favor. That's to save a spot on the bill for me. With love, to Martha and Joe.